Check. Check.
Yeah.
Check. Talking.
Talking.
Present.
Checking. Checking and talking.
I think. I think that's. I think. Therefore, I am.
Okay, Voltaire.
Do you believe in that?
That wasn't Voltaire that said that, was it?
I don't fucking know.
Who said that? You think, therefore you are?
I think, therefore, I am.
If you're not thinking, are you not existing then? Do you not exist when you meditate? You're not thinking of anything?
I don't know. Here's the thing. When I meditate, I don't know. Like, everybody's process is personal, but for me, I kind of just try to let my thoughts just happen.
There we go.
Because I think if you try too hard, the fact is, if you focus on thinking about nothing when you meditate, in a lot of ways that kind of defeats the purpose because you're focused on not thinking. The way I see it, it's all about being in the moment and just letting your thoughts flow. Like, you think of it like a river. Like, you're just letting
It just goes.
You're just letting your subconscious just go, and whenever you focus on something, that's like a snag in the river. That's like a little rock or twig, like kind of stopping the water, but the water's gonna go around it. So you just gotta. I don't know. Like, just I feel like just the big part about it is just like focus. For me, I focus on my breathing.
Yeah.
I posture.
That's a pretty common thing I've seen
And
a lot of people say.
if you want to be like one of those transcendental meditation cats, you can use a mantra. Like, that helps for a lot of people. Shit, that's how Jerry Seinfeld wrote Seinfeld. He's very big in the transcendental meditation thing.
Transcendental.
I kind of think that's a cult though, like, low key.
Yeah, trans is definitely a cult.
Because you have because for TM, like, a lot of big time Hollywood celebrities do it, and I see it as kind of like, it's low key at this point. It's like a watered down Scientology because they're kind of really mysterious about it, and you have to pay to get like the full lessons. And, like, people forget about, like, that was started by the Maharishi in the 1960s when the Indians sent him over to America, and he's the guy that got the Beatles onto it. And then the Beatles spent like 6 months in India, like, just chilling with him, learning to meditate, and then they got bored and their wives got angry, so they left. I think
George Harrison didn't.
I think George Harrison was George Harrison was the one that really wanted him to go to India, and I think he stayed longer than all of them.
I thought George Harrison was the one who, like, almost stayed.
He probably would if he was very spiritual. He was definitely the closest to all that Indian stuff. Like, he produced albums for Ravi Shankar and all that stuff. But
I feel like he's the least talked about Beatle.
He was definitely the most talented, in my opinion. But the crazy thing was, once they got back to the States, they, like, low-key shot on the Maharishi. They said, like, oh, we're pretty sure he raped Frank Sinatra's daughter.
What, the Maharishi?
Yeah, he was an interesting dude. Like, if you look him up, he was a very pure soul. Like, he really was. Like,
how is this spelled?
Maharishi, I think. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. I got it on the screen.
But he was a fascinating dude. But the fact is, I feel like his teachings have been a little bastardized. But even then, many would argue that his teachings were a bastardization of, like, Indian philosophy on meditation, because the way it worked was, for what we considered transcendental meditation, it was like something that only the most high level monks could, like, know the truth of the mantra, and just the truth of that kind of deep breathing. And he came to the States and basically said, hey, this is something that everybody can do, and I can teach you it kind of simply, but you gotta pay. and I think that's where I get off, because at the end of the day, the really only thing they teach you is, near as I can tell from what I've seen and read, without having to pay any money to Bob Roth or the bullshit like Transcendental Meditation Society, is that you do it twice a day, usually whenever you wake up, and close to where you go to bed. Do it for about 20 minutes, posture with your eyes closed, staying completely still, and you repeat a mantra that you create for yourself, and that has to have very special meaning to you.
Are you allowed to share your mantra?
I don't have a mantra. I don't believe in doing mantra. I think Om is a good one. Om is yeah, because you got to think about what was weird. There's no way we'll know what the first tones uttered by humans were, but many would argue that it's Om because it comes from the throat. It works its way through the whole body. Om. It's a phrase that you can feel, like, comes from your throat out your mouth.
Yeah.
Om.
That's so crazy to think about how we've gone from just
yeah,
and now we're having, like, super intricate conversations with different vowels and consonants.
Yeah, articulating thoughts and whatnot, and
then, like,
expressing them.
And then in, like, Asian languages, they have, like, different pitches involved in their language as well.
And then in French, like for certain like vowels, and shit, they gotta blow it through their nose, like. Like I love French. I want to learn more French. My girl speaks French, and I really want to learn more so we can have like a secret language.
I don't know. I like the French language, but I also kind of like that I don't understand it. Well, like, it's
Cool.
super pretty sounding and it's unique.
Very
you know,
beautiful. Very beautiful, but also,
like whenever I hear someone speaking Spanish, I can usually pick up on a few things. But French, it's just like, what?
Spanish is definitely a little more. I feel that's more practical for living in America.
Oh, absolutely.
And but I don't fucking know. I also think like, I think learning a language, it's kind of like you're kind of spinning your wheels unless you're surrounded by people that speak that language.
Yeah.
Like whether that's a family unit or friends or I feel like if you really want to get to learn a language, you got to really immerse yourself in a culture that is speaking that language.
Have you seen the Joe Rogan where he's talking to David Lee Roth?
No, I haven't.
That one's.
I bet you that
that one's really fucking
that
cool.
That sounds like an interesting conversation.
But apparently David Lee Roth, he was like living in Japan for like a really big part of his life.
Ooh.
And he said that the best way to learn a language is you watch. There's 3 stages. You watch children's cartoons because it's uninterrupted. They're saying really basic things, like they're saying it kind of slow so you can understand it.
That makes
and then
sense.
you watch the news because, like, again, no one's interrupting it. Bigger words, but
that makes
no
sense.
one's interrupting it. And then you start watching like movies and TV.
Sure, that makes sense. That's a very smart way of looking at it.
A lot of people learn languages like from TV.
Yeah.
I picked up a little bit of Spanish from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, like Narcos or some shit like that. Yeah. That's tight.
Yo necesito mi agua. It's my favorite Spanish phrase that I know.
I need water.
Yeah.
I need water.
I need some water.
Dude, you ever seen No Country for Old Men?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Dude, that scene where like he opens the door and the dude's agua. He's like, I ain't got no water. And he just takes his gun. He's like, he just doesn't give a shit, dude. Oh my god, he's dying.
I need to rewatch the movie. I don't remember that part.
God. It's like, that's whenever he finds the place with all the shot up people, and he opens the truck door and there's like that dying guy who just got shot a bunch. He's going, agua. He wants water. He's like, I ain't got no water. He takes his gun and then he feels bad, so he gets water and then he goes back and then that's when all the shit starts. Like, it's fucking, what a fucking movie.
Oh god.
That's Cormac McCarthy wrote that. He wrote the book. You should read The Road.
The Road.
Yeah, so this is my book club.
The
week
book
right now.
club.
The Road is a great book, man. That's like a real like man book kind of book.
This is a real man's book.
How to drum.
Here's the Drum by Emil Schul.
No, I don't know.
I need to get a bookshelf. I have a surprising amount of books for someone who doesn't read on the regular.
I think,
but
that's
like, well,
the,
like
that's the case
they're
with a lot
all
of it.
like method books and like just drum shits, which I'm fine with.
Word. I'm happy to get my copy of American Psycho back from you, dog. I appreciate that.
I feel bad that I never read it.
You're fine. you never know. You might get around to it. Honestly, though, it's like lately I'm trying to find more books where like I learn stuff. Like I'm kind of moving away from like fiction just because like I feel like I can like there's a lot of times I'll read a book and then I'll finish it and be like, okay, this
like you just didn't get anything out of it.
Or I didn't like, you know, because that's not true. No matter what, if you're reading, you're learning something. You're
learning a new word.
Yeah, you learn new words. You might relate to some new idea, or you might think differently, and that's the beauty of literature. But lately, I've been reading like more like autobiographies. Like right now, I'm going through Malcolm X's autobiography, and
yeah, you were talking about that.
That's crazy, dude. That dude's life was a fucking movie. Like I'm halfway through, but it reads like a Scorsese movie, dude. Like
Scorsese.
And the dude, he dictated it to Alex Haley, who's like a very great writer, wrote Roots, and it's just crazy. Just the whole dude's life, just like being born into poverty. His dad got murdered by the Klan, and then his mom went crazy, and he went to New York and just started fucking hustling, dude. He just started like selling weed to like big bands and you know, like like
He was the dope
sell
man.
tricks. He'd pimp out women and just all kinds of, and like the way he describes like his last day in like in that shit before
He was
like
39 when he was killed.
yeah, dude, by the
Wow.
Nation of Islam.
Real young. He was killed by the Nation of Islam?
Members of it.
Oh.
Look, it's very. You want to talk about Malcolm X's death? We can spend like 3 hours talking about that shit because like that's a.
Nah, I need to brush up my Malcolm X before we
It's
have a
very complex. And
Malcolm theme.
It's very
podcast.
complex, and honestly, man, it wouldn't surprise me if it was the government or some shit like that. Like if you're just like being real, because but the thing was, he did all that shit. His last day describes it being in that shit, like doing those illicit activities in New York. He's talking about, it's like he said, like, I was smoking opium with some white boys, and then like I had to sell like an ounce of weed, and then like these Italian dudes thought I was somebody else that they had to kill, who like robbed them, so they were gonna kill me, but then a cop walked in right as they're about to shoot me, so like they left, and then another dude who was like a friend of his was gonna kill him for some reason. So he was doing all kinds of shit, and then the whole time he's like, I was snorting cocaine, smoking weed. I was like drinking. I was like stressed out, and then finally he just like realizes that everyone's out to get him, and a friend of his he describes a lot of real just divine saving moments in his life. Like he really did believe that everything is written, and but he got saved by a friend who took him back to Boston. He started robbing houses, got caught, went to prison, and it was in prison that he discovered Islam and the Nation of Islam, the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. And that's where things get interesting, because he became the leader of the Nation of Islam, and one of their big things was the idea of Yaqub, and like
Jacob,
Yaqub, you can call it, and people argue about this a lot too.
This is America.
People will argue about this a lot too, and this is like real controversial, and it's not like it's kind of fucking stupid, but like just to hear it, like basically what the Nation of Islam believed was, they believed that white people came from first off, all life started in Africa, obviously.
Yeah.
But then there was a scientist named Yaqub during these biblical times who discovered recessive genes. And what they believe is that Yaqub took a colony of 60,000 like kind of like slightly less dark people, and started just taking them across the fucking ocean through Asia. And he left some of those people behind. That's where Asians come from. And then once he got to Europe, he started a 600-year selective breeding process that eventually led to the creation of white people.
Is there
and
any?
And then they locked them in a cave. And then when Moses let them out of the cave, they were Jews. And then they're like, dude, that's you can't like that. That's
Is there any proof
believe.
that this guy existed?
No, dude, it's this is biblical stuff. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And here's the thing. And Malcolm X eventually like turned away from all that. He eventually said, you know what, no, this is kind of spiteful, and I don't think this solves anything. And he founded a new Islamic order that I can't remember what it's called, but is much more compromising. Like he wasn't full hardcore on the whole white man is the devil thing. And then they killed him. And yeah, I don't know, but the dude's life was fucking crazy. And I think we just we really do miss out on a lot by not teaching about people like that in school, because like that is a man who's
I remember we didn't learn about him because we were too busy learning about MLK,
and that's
he was sort of brushed aside as like, he's the violent one.
It's because he had ideas that were uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, he was a man reformed. He was like on a path that led nothing but to just death and destruction, and he found salvation, and then he preached that salvation. And like, it's at the end of the day, it's just like, it's just too complicated, because they want to teach integration, and they want to act like racism got solved in 1965. but the truth is, man, it's like
George Floyd.
Yeah, it's still here today. Like yeah.
Do you think George Floyd would have been killed like that if he was a white man, or let's say Asian?
I don't know, dude. I don't working in hypotheticals like that, because
right.
You really never know. But I don't fucking know, man. I've been seeing all kinds of clips of cops like during these protests. That's the great thing about like just being in this age and with these protests.
Everyone has a camera on them.
We've seen so much footage, and there's so much footage of like these cops like doing that exact same shit to all kinds of cats like during these protests. Like I saw him doing it to some white kid, like, and I don't know, but yeah, I'd say like if we're gonna talk about book club, I'd recommend to any reader the autobiography of Malcolm X,
Or Here's the Drum by Emil Scholl.
and The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Or just go watch No Country for Old Men.
The Tao of Wu is a good book that I haven't
Yeah, I was
been
seeing,
reading enough.
that. What is that? Is that about Wu-Tang?
It's by the RZA. It's just sort of like it's kind of like an autobiography of his life, but he's also just talking about just life lessons in hip hop.
I got you. RZA was a cool dude.
He has
He's
like
a cool dude.
he has like certain principles in there. Like I just need to fucking read the whole thing, because every time I read it, like I learn something new. Like the last time I read it, he was talking about fear, and he said fear is something that only children should feel, and the only thing a man should fear is God. And personally, I believe that the idea of God is just like human beings. So you don't have anything to fear except yourself. And if you're making bad decisions, you're going to know it deep down.
I got you.
The only thing a man should fear is God,
I got you.
which is yourself.
I think that's a good man. I think that's a good lesson. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
it's the fact is, like, we're if you try as hard as you can to live without fear, like fear is like a reaction to our understanding of death in a way.
Yeah.
It's we know.
But
that
you
there's
can
stuff
also
out there
you can
that
also make like bad decisions which make you feel fearful.
I don't know.
Or just like anxiety.
I don't know how I feel about fear, because like I'm a very anxious person.
I don't know. It made a lot of sense in my head. But
I got you. I'd say if there's anybody to I definitely think like RZA is definitely like somebody of all the people from Wu-Tang, like out of like a RZA, Jizza, Ghostface. Like personally, my favorite guy from Wu-Tang is Ghostface Killah, and like I'm not the biggest Wu-Tang fan. Like I'm more of like into like Liquid, like their solo, or like Liquid Swords, or like Ghostface Killah's stuff. But I'd say RZA is definitely one of the most level-headed out of all of them.
oh yeah, he founded the group pretty much. Like he started it. He got everyone together. And then
ODB was definitely the coolest though. Like he was the cool. He had the most personality.
Dude, have you seen the racial draft?
Yeah,
From
dude.
Chappelle's
Yeah, dude.
show?
I love that the Asians like take it.
It has a young Bill Burr in it, which I was not aware of until I rewatched it recently.
My favorite one from that is the black people taking Tiger Woods.
I like that.
Dude,
they're
like,
trying to draft. The white people are trying to draft Colin Powell. And then the black people are like, you can have Colin Powell, but you have to take Condoleezza Rice too. And then they
get OJ. It's like you guys get OJ.
They try
back.
they try to take Eminem. It's like, I tell you what, we keep Eminem, you get OJ Simpson back.
It's not a fair deal at all, bro.
Well, it was 2004. It was way different. Which thinking about that at the time, it's really fucking funny, because all Dave Chappelle is pretty much saying is like, yeah, like Condi and Colin Powell, like, you're working for Bush, you're not black anymore.
Yeah.
Like get the fuck out. We don't respect you.
Dude, that show was like wild, and man, like just the fact that like I think Neil Brennan described it. He's like, imagine you're just like bullshitting around with your best friend and making a show, and every week it just like freaks everybody out and everybody's talking about it. Like I think the simplicity of it like is really what sold it.
There's one episode. It's like the player haters, but they go back into slavery.
Yeah,
times.
I saw that they shoot the slave owner. That shit's good.
And then like they're explaining in the episode, because it's supposed to just be like sketches that never made it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, once they shot the slave owner, like everyone at Comedy Central, like the corporate people were like, oh, I don't know about that. It's like, what? It's like you got a problem with some guy shooting a slave owner?
That's suspect, dude.
Yeah, it is
suspect. That shows, because they've shown people getting shot on that show like all the time. They have Wayne Brady in that sketch. He fucking shoots up a nightclub. Like, dude,
Does he?
dude.
Which one is that?
It's like one of the later ones. I can't remember what it's funny. It's like Wayne, because like everybody knows that Wayne thinks of Wayne Brady as this kind of like chill, kind of like more like chill dude. They don't think of him really just like being hard. So then it's like Dave Chappelle and Wayne Brady have a night out, and he's like doing all kinds of crazy shit. He shoots up a nightclub. He's got it's like he drives up, and then like the guy outside the club is like, oh shit, it's Wayne Brady. And then he's like bow bow bow.
I don't know if I remember that one.
But like the point is like that's suspect, man. That shows everything that's been wrong with Hollywood for like, in just the entertainment industry for like forever, man. Just systemic racism, dude. Like they did the same thing to Like, I'll tell you something that's very fucked up is if you ever see like some old show from the 80s with like a black dude in a dress, like that is something that the studio made them do. Like they made Jamie Foxx do that for In Living Color. Like Jamie Foxx's first big like thing that made him popular was he played this character on In Living Color that was in a dress. And then like just because and then he became like known for that.
Dude, that's
he
just fucked up on a psychological level.
That's exactly the point. But he became known for that. So then when he tried to start a career making music, like in the early thousands, like no label took him seriously because of that fucking role.
It's almost as if they want to ruin someone's image before they have a chance to make their claim in the industry.
And also Chappelle had the exact same thing happen. Like whenever he left, he turned down the $50 million. Like one of the bits that they were trying to do, I'm pretty sure he was wearing a dress. Like
really?
Yeah, dude. I'm not even shitting you. Like there's a lot of reasons why he left. Mainly, but
How do I
mainly
Google this?
It was mainly the principal. Like it's that's that like the dude's like the problem is like it's an industry where like it doesn't reward idealism, and like idealism is not always like, you know, you need compromise, but at the end of the day these are industries that have just been controlled by like the white man, dude. It's just like and we're finally realizing it, and now that we got the internet and everybody can make their own shit, like it's lit, dude, because you can tell Hollywood to fuck off, all those fucking child molesters. Fuck them, dude.
It says Martin Lawrence. This is an NPR article I found about that. It says Martin Lawrence, for instance, is well known for his starring role in Big Mama's House. Eddie Murphy has played a woman as one of many characters he portrays in his Nutty Professor movies. Jamie Foxx is also known for his Ugly Wanda character in Living Color.
Yeah,
Marlon and Sean Wayans. Yeah, that's true. White Chicks. White Chicks was funny though.
I've never even seen it, man.
It's not bad.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's got like the Wayans brothers are geniuses. Like they don't get enough credit.
That is interesting though. That's like a common thing though.
I'm telling you.
But like
I don't want to jump to full conspiracy, but I'm just saying.
No, man. Like that's absolutely weird because I'm having a hard time like thinking of a way to say it, but it's like, I don't know.
It's psychological manipulation.
It is.
Dude.
It's like I'm white, so I get to tell you, the black person, what to do, and
it also very well
that's
could
not
be,
cool.
It also very well could be just like Hollywood producers that just like are just like not funny and just have a very
they're just recycling the same idea.
Yeah, it's like they just have a very poor idea of like what makes something funny, but it's like, you know, like a rinse repeat. This is funny. It's set up, punchline, joke.
It's sort of a juxtapose. Or however you say it, I guess.
Juxtaposition,
because, you know, like Jamie Foxx, you know, like nowadays, he's like, oh, yeah, he's like the fucking hardest fuck actor who's also in Gold Digger.
Dude, he's in
a dress. It's funny because it's ironic. It's weird. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Whoa.
It is fucked because, like, Jamie Foxx is like he's one of the most talented people in the fucking world. So I don't even...
I really like how... have you heard the Ray Charles like song that came from? It's like the complete opposite, because it's talking about like his woman is giving him money and like taking good care of him.
It's like old school pimp shit.
And now it's like reversed. It's like
it's like
she's just this bitch taking all my money, child support.
Yeah, you better what's the better hit her with the prenup.
We want prenup.
We want prenup.
It's something that you need to have, because when she leave your ass, she gonna leave with half. 18 years. 18 years. I found out on an 18th birthday it wasn't his.
Yeah, people
win the Super Bowl, drive off in a Hyundai.
And also I think like Hollywood has the other thing is like the entertainment industry has a real big problem with like basically vilifying people that like don't play by the games and speak their mind. Kanye West, Shia LaBeouf.
Okay, Kanye is a terrible example.
I don't think so, man. He's just got mental problems.
That cat's running for president.
Nah, I don't buy that.
He put out a platform, at least. He wants.
I heard he was anti-abortion.
Yeah, he's anti-abortion. He wants prayer back in schools.
Nice, dude. He's gonna draw. Here's what's gonna happen. He's either gonna draw votes away from Trump or to Trump. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like, even if he does, like, because at the end of the day, like, let's be real, man. Like, nobody votes. Old people vote.
I vote
too, but you know what I mean. Like, most people are like only 20% of the country really votes. Most of that 20% is old people, and they're gonna vote based on like what the dude's Medicaid policy is, or how far away they promise to keep them from black people. So like,
Dude, America's
That's
fucking doomed.
I disagree, dude.
No,
Like,
there's such a well, I don't know.
oh,
There's
come
there's
on,
there's
man.
two
Our
different ways
problems-
to look at
Every
it.
country has fucking problems,
There's
man.
no, but there's such a large percentage of the population that is like seriously convinced that we just need to get rid of like all sort of like social welfare programs, because like they've been convinced that like people who aren't too far off from how they're doing are just like they're taking all the tax money, like everyone's on fucking unemployment or some
well,
shit
well,
like
whose
that.
fucking fault is that, man? We got the whole place shut down. Like that's what we need is like another New Deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, FDR did the New Deal in the 1940s. You know, just infrastructure, just a bunch of infrastructure, create jobs. They just need like
The New Deal is
something like that.
If we have a new deal with Trump, it's gonna be like with Russia or China.
Yeah,
Dude, have you been following all the shit going on with the Taliban?
Nah, I forgot about those cats.
Okay, so like over this past week, it's pretty much come out that Russia was paying the Taliban specifically to kill U.S. soldiers, and then the next day we found out that Trump had knowledge of this since like February, and he wasn't doing anything about it.
Fuck.
And then it came out a few days after that Trump was giving military
intelligence
to the Kremlin for like no explanation at all.
Jesus.
So
where'd you read this on?
oh, it's just like a bunch of shit, like New York Times, NPR, Washington
Jesus
Post, just
fucking
like.
Christ.
But yeah, man, like
I'm not surprised.
if you can't like I can't think of a better way to squander your hard right base than to fucking like not only are you helping the enemy, but you're turning a blind eye to this country who is like it's theater and it's
God.
fucked up. Like he's literally helping Russia fund a group of people to kill U.S. soldiers, and he's not doing anything about it.
And nobody's really, and the weird thing is nobody's gonna give a shit.
And
now.
and so far the fucking 3 people I've told this to, you and then Keegan and my friend Rui, no one fucking knows about it.
Yeah, I don't know about.
It was on the front
I don't
page of
know about none
Reddit.
of that. I ain't been doing the best job of keeping up with the news lately though. Like
It's annoying
news-
because I like to know what's going on, but then you just fucking read it and you're like, oh, we're literally helping the Taliban kill U.S. soldiers. What's up with that?
what's the deal with?
What's the deal with the Taliban?
What's the deal with? I can't pull a good Seinfeld impression. The problem is every time I think about doing a Jerry Seinfeld, I think about one, getting the voice right, but then like I can't think about like I can't think about any of his jokes. I can't come up with a concept.
You ever notice how the
what we're talking
Taliban
about.
only targets U.S. soldiers? It's almost as if someone from the top is telling them what to do. Someone else is calling the shots.
Have you ever? I don't think I've ever laughed at like a joke I've heard Jerry Seinfeld tell, but like I always appreciate him.
Oh,
I always appreciate it because like
he's got a few.
well, the dude's like he's got a great understanding of like just the comedy form.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
I consider him like a classical comedian.
I was
Like,
listening to an interview with him once, and he said that the way to write a joke is you make a logical sounding argument for something that's just like completely like off the wall, like doesn't make any sense.
That makes sense.
And like I've tried to follow that formula.
Yeah, and then meditate in a
I mean,
corner for
it makes
20 minutes.
sense. What?
Meditate in a corner for 20 minutes.
Is that what he does?
Saying his mantra. Yeah, he's deep in the transcendental meditation thing.
Mm.
Like he's all about it. Like there's even a video of him speaking at the David Lynch Foundation.
Who's that?
David Lynch, one of the greatest American directors, filmmakers ever, and he's also a fucking big TM nut. And you've never heard of David Lynch?
I have. I just don't know what he does.
He's made a lot of great movies.
What's he made?
Well, Blue Velvet. You ever heard of Blue Velvet? Okay.
I think so.
Eraserhead.
Yeah, I've heard of Eraserhead.
Mulholland Drive.
I've heard of that.
The TV show Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
All of these phenomenal works of cinema, like landmark, just absolutely fucking brilliant. Like it, but it's all weird as fuck. It's like you can tell it comes from the mind of just like a really, really eccentric dude. But that's the beautiful thing about it. Like it's landmark surrealist cinema. if we're being real, because it just like it does. His movies do such a good job of subverting you by presenting you with this very strange, almost like soap opera-ish kind of like reality that gets subverted by all this crazy, weird, fucked up like shit.
Yeah.
And like he always gets great actors playing like very challenging, almost stupid roles. And I don't know. And there's a lot of great just themes. His movies are great. I can't recommend David Lynch films enough. But lately, all he really does is just like smoke cigarettes and paint and meditate. So
It sounds like a lot of people I know.
yeah, so I don't know. Like it's not the worst way to live. I mean, the dude like has been making films since he was like 20, like in the 1970s. So but I don't know. He's got a great movie called Lost Highway that's got it's got like Richard Pryor has like a cameo in it. That's that's kind of funny. And that's the thing. He's kind of like Tarantino in the sense that like he kind of does a good job of like he picks like he makes odd choices with like casting, but like they always work. It always works. Like he kind of does a good job of saving careers. Like what's his face like
Josh Peck.
Josh Peck, sure, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets to know Josh Peck in one of his movies. He gets like.
I feel like Josh Peck already got saved, and then he sort of lost it again.
He's got Patricia Arquette's in one of his movies, and she gets like full ass naked. It's like
I don't know who that is.
She was the chick from Anchorman.
Oh,
yeah, dude. She gets no wait. That's Christina Applegate. I'm thinking like Patricia Arquette's like some other chick. They look a lot, just some blonde chick. I don't know.
Patty Arquette.
That's the way I've discovered all these. I swear to God, that's the way I got into all these art films, just because I just want to see movies with titties in them, man. Like, if I'm being real, I want to see titties and ass. Like that's why I started watching Game of Thrones. That's how I started watching like. Yeah, that's definitely how I found David Lynch.
Game of Thrones is a cool idea, but the show is just kind of dumb.
I liked it. I quit watching after season 4 because it kind of just it started to feel like a soap opera.
Yeah.
But every now and again it'd have like a really cool action scene that would just be like, oh fuck yeah, that's so cool.
I watched a little bit of the last season with Zach and Abby, and it was cool.
I bet. Like I heard they did a nice job
like
just putting a nice bow tie.
I don't know,
ended it nice.
I like the action scenes, but
yeah, dude, it's got some great action scenes. Like the one where like
there's just too many characters.
Yeah, it gets kind of hard to follow.
Like there's not even too many characters. There's too many protagonists.
I'm look, man.
And then
it comes from the imagination of like a fat dude that just was really good at creating worlds. Like, you know what I mean? He's just George R. R. Martin's like he's a fat dork who just like, you know, really good at creating worlds.
I think he was just upset that he'll never make something as good as the Lord of the Rings universe.
I'd say
he stole the fucking RR.
It's pretty expansive. Yeah, that's right. He did.
There's no RR
right.
in his name.
I hadn't fucking thought about that. Holy shit.
Yeah, he fucking
He's
took
trying
it.
to be the next Tolkien.
Yeah, he is.
And he's also like
with dicks.
It takes him fucking forever to write. Like, you know what the crazy thing is? He wrote the first Game of Thrones book in '96, and
isn't the book series still going on?
Yeah, he's written 5. The 6th one hasn't came out. He wrote the last one and he finished the last one in 2011. And it's 2020. Like, dude, he still says there's gonna be 2 more.
Well, actually, the whole time, Jon Snow was bisexual.
Okay. That's how I wish it was. Just like oh yeah, he was gay. It's John Blow Cox. You know what I mean? That's the secret. He wasn't a Stark. He was
Jon Snow's his whole
spawn.
name is Johnson.
Yeah, he's the spawn of some just like I don't know. I can't call him nothing.
What's that woman's name? Harry Potter woman. I can't remember her name.
Emma Watson, dog?
No, not Emma Watson, the author.
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people theorize that like she didn't write most of the Harry Potter books. She just had like a team of like kind of like
ghostwriters.
Yeah, like and like J.K. Yeah, but I don't know. I could see that. Harry Potter is like like there's definitely a big reason like why Harry Potter is as popular as it is, because like don't you think that's a little strange that like, you know, we grew up with so much like media overload and video games and TV, and yet the one book series that seemed to really captivate everybody that got like 9-year-old kids to read fucking 600-page books was Harry Potter. Like there's got to be something to that, you know what I mean?
I think it was the movies. Because I didn't start reading it until they made the movies.
I only saw the movies, and I like Harry Potter a lot. Like
I didn't read the whole series, but I don't know.
But
those books were needlessly long. Like I remember I was reading Goblet of Fire, and that one, because like each book was longer than the last, and I think by the time you get to Goblet of Fire, you're like fucking 600 or 700 pages, and it's just all like descriptions of really not significant things.
I think that
and I needed to finish this book for a book report, and I ended up skipping like 300 pages one day.
At that point, it's Wikipedia,
and it was fine.
Wikipedia dog. Like, but I think there's definitely something like there's something that's worth studying, and like why Harry Potter was as big of a thing as it was. I think a lot of it has to do with the way it kind of told like it kind of like Star Wars. It told a simple story of good versus evil
and a great universe.
Yeah, it built a good world. And, and it's something that you could relate to. You know what I mean? Because everybody could like relate to going to school and all that stuff. And it kind of like it simplifies human ambitions and emotions into like the four houses. Because like everybody's like, oh man, I'm fucking Gryffindor, dog. Like I'm an alpha. I'm a bad boy. I'm a Slytherin. You know what I mean? Like, and
Hufflepuffs, all the beta males.
Yeah, dude. And so I think there's something worth.
What's the other one?
What
Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw,
bitch boys,
and Slytherin.
In the fourth house, baby.
What's Ravenclaw?
I think the Asian chick from the fifth movie. That Asian chick from the fifth movie. She was beautiful, man. I was like, I don't know why. Like,
I don't know if I know who you're talking about.
It's like, it was like I just remember like watching the fifth one. I remember like it felt like there was a lot of sexual tension through the first four movies because they were children, so they couldn't like do nothing. And then in the fifth movie, like this Asian chick shows up, and then like her and Harry start smooching. Like they like
with the
Asian they have a little makeout sesh, and I was like, oh wow, okay, they've just introduced sex into the Harry Potter universe.
Rated PG-13.
Yeah, exactly. They throw that PG-13 rating in there, like fuck, dog. So like steamy, hot and heavy.
No condom.
Yeah, dude, I was about to say, man, it's like the thing that always weirded me out is like, how come in those movies it's like modern times, but like they go to the fucking Hogwarts and it's like they're like shitting in outhouses and like using like old school shit. Like I don't know.
I was about to say it's supposed to take place in the 90s, but that doesn't explain the outhouses.
I don't think there's outhouses. I'm just saying, like, why are they using old technology? They're using old technology. Like,
well, it's the same thing with Star Wars. Like, it's super futuristic, but everyone's walking around wearing like just robes.
Well, I think Star Wars does a better job because they at least say it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Boom, like that gets it out the bag. It throws all responsibility out the window. It's its own world. Harry Potter takes place in our world. Kinda.
Ish.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm overthinking
Ish.
this. I think we're overthinking this.
Nah, not really.
But
I think the Star Wars universe is. I think I like it more. But
I've definitely like it's more. That's more formative to me. Like one of my earliest memories are of watching The Phantom Menace.
Oh, same, dude.
like nothing to me was a more better representation of good versus evil than Darth Maul, like just fucking murdering Qui-Gon Jinn. And then in an act of revenge justice, Obi-Wan Kenobi fucking slices that bitch in half. And
with Duel of Fates playing in the back.
Fuck yeah, just good triumphs over evil. That's why Star Wars worked so good, because it's a simple story of good versus evil with memorable characters and just so I don't know, they kept it simple. The best ideas, the ones that reach people, it's the ones that's like keep it simple, man.
Now this is pod racing. There's no music in that scene. During the pod race. There's just until the very end.
Like it's like the noise of boom 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 boom. Like the weird pod race.
Those shits were so fucking cool when I was like 4 or however old.
Yeah, I have a special
Sebulba.
And I always tell people that, like, whenever people ask me, like, people are so touchy about the prequels, and it's like
the prequels are good.
Like, we can say that because we're fucking millennials. Like here's my thoughts on it, man. Like, our folks all watch Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
They saw those results, they connect with that shit, and then like Lucas was crafty enough to realize once those cats started having kids, he makes the prequels. He drops the prequels.
But do you think he thought of that from the beginning? Because he started with Episode 4.
He dead ass like had 9 movies planned out. Like he talked about it like in the he talked about in the 80s that he had like a whole
He had 9.
plan. Yeah, yeah. So like in a lot of ways, like, you know, we can't be surprised that these new movies came out. But my thing, my theory, not my theory. I'm trying to avoid saying theory. Hypothesis is a more is a more
You can say
apt.
theory.
But like,
Or you're trying to not get
a
like.
theory is something that's like established. It's
Is
like
it? Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
A hypothesis is a more apt way of like describing what we call theory. It's like,
That makes sense. Yeah.
why do we do that shit, man? Why is there so much shit like that in our language that
Words
we just
change.
yeah, like
I hate that the word literally has lost so much power.
exactly, dude. You say, "Oh, I literally like I don't like it."
No, but people use it wrong.
I literally thought this, bro. Yeah, you like.
Wow,
dude,
really?
Yeah, it's like now if you, but then if
You should literally kill yourself if you
Like,
literally don't know how
if you
to
just,
use
like-
different words of literally. And while I'm on this, people who put the fucking apostrophe on the wrong side of a date they're trying to abbreviate, like, you're fucking stupid.
Okay.
And then
I don't even know about that. I'm like, what?
No, well, I mean, like, yeah, you don't have a social media, but like people that be like, oh, class of 19 with the apostrophe at the end.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I
oh,
got
you
you,
graduated in the
I got you.
1900s. Wow, you better go back to fucking school.
No, okay, but like,
Graduated over 21 years ago. And
If I-
people who don't know the different kinds of twos.
Oh yeah, like
Or
TOO,
People
TOO.
like my little brother uses TO and TOO interchangeable, and I'm like,
That's I blame. Look, man, that's just an end result of texting. That's why I'm just ready for just all emoji communication.
no, man, I don't want that.
I think it'd be good because here's the thing, man. Emojis do something very unique in the sense that they convey emotions. They are text. They're hieroglyphics. You know what I mean? Because they're texts that convey emotions,
Yeah.
and like that's something we've never been able to do.
No, I like writing words.
Other than through like I don't know, but
That just sounds like some like you remember that Black Mirror when that woman's trapped in the bear, and she can say she's happy or
oh
sad.
fuck, that one made me really sad, dude. That one's so depressing.
That's what like all emoji language would be.
We didn't have some variants, man. She could only say yes or no. It's just shit like that. It'd be like with emojis, you know, you can thumbs up, thumbs down. You know what I mean? Like icy, the icy smiley face. I like the icy smiley face a lot right now. That was one of my favorite. Right
Which
now.
one's that?
It's like he's gritting his teeth with his icy like.
Oh, that's my
like Gucci
favorite one.
Like Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane had this tweet when he was talking about leaving Atlantic Records, and let me show you this. He said he was talking about leaving Atlantic. He said, "I'm leaving Atlantic Records on July 3rd. These crackers polite racist." And he had like hands praying and the icy face. And it's like that shit is so hard. Here it is.
Polite racist.
Dude, like it's a word. Don't sign if you're a fucking artist, don't sign no fucking contract. That's to be like a given in the internet age. It's like, but I love that these crackers polite racist. What the fuck?
No, there's a lot of people like that, like people who were raised racist and they're just unaware of it.
Yeah, especially out here in the Midwest, man. And like I think we all fall into that because like we all have. Like, at the end of the day, I think I try to be a hypocrite. I think everybody's got prejudice. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody's got some kind of prejudice.
I think like what that stems from though is, I mean, you know, like we're both white. Most of our friends are white. We usually hang out with other white people. But like if you just hang out with people who are different than you, then eventually, and like you just start talking to them, eventually, like it's not gonna be something that you're thinking of, like, oh, I'm white and he's Mexican.
Yeah, no,
people are people. You just got to talk to them. I understand, like, but it's easy to like sort of be worried about it at first because it's like it's the easiest thing to judge about someone.
Yeah,
you know, it's the first. It's the first thing you see is the color of their
And
skin.
people want to fucking simplify things. People want to simplify things. That's where stereotypes
Yeah.
come into play. But I don't know, man. Like I don't fucking know. It's just like I just think like. Well, I don't really think anything. But I think we're at a strange, we're at a very strange point culturally where like right now like I think things with race and class are really coming to a head in a very similar way that they did in the 70s and that they did at the turn of the century. And I don't think anything's going to fucking shake this shit up other than some large-scale government reform or a war. But I don't think that shit matters too much because, like, you know, I don't, like, I'm fucking 22. I don't got nothing. I've got nothing to say that matters. I don't want to, like, act like I have any answers. But I think, I don't fucking know. I don't know. And how long have we been doing this? What time is it?
It is 2:24.
We still gonna go hoop?
We can.
I'm
I
d-
do want
let's
to.
do it, man.
I don't know if I told you this though. Or no, I think I did. When I was at Walmart, that woman was knocking on my car door.
Oh yeah, she wanting a ride. She's
Yes,
like,
like I had just gotten, like I went from cause it's the Walmart is right next to Planet Fitness, so I just drove over there right after that. It's like I'm fucking tired. I'm sweating. I'm just sitting in my car making a shopping list, and then she comes up, and then I kind of did like a double take, and then she sort of stepped back. I was like, oh, okay. It's like, hopefully I'm gonna roll down the window. And she's like, sorry, I thought you were someone else. But I do that. She's like, can you help me? I need a ride home. I'm pregnant. I have a ride home.
pregnant, I need a ride home. Did she look pregnant?
So she was kind of chunky. So she wasn't like she didn't look particularly
that could be
pregnant.
hard to tell.
She
Oh
could have
my
been pregnant,
God.
but yeah, like she wasn't really showing in like a very obvious way. And like she kept saying, like she's like, I got money, like can you give me a ride? I was like, can I call you an Uber or a cab? Like, where do you
What the
live? And then
fuck?
she like,
I would.
she's like, no, I don't got enough money for Uber.
I wouldn't have done that shit, man. That's some crazy shit.
But that okay, so like that was the thing though. Like I really wanted to help this woman, but at the same time, I didn't know if I let her in my car if she's just gonna pull out a fucking gun, or if she actually needed a ride,
probably not.
or if she's even pregnant.
She probably would have just given you some real bizarre conversation, said some nonsense, and then like spewed and given you COVID or something like that. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, there's that too.
I'm too fucking. I'm bitter and like I just don't even. I don't even try anymore, man. I can't like. I try to be empathetic, but I also just don't.
I saw her walking around in the store after that.
I'm out for me, man. I'm out for yo solo dolo. You know what I mean?
That's pretty much what I've been trying to do this past year.
And
just looking out for myself before I look out for other people.
It's honestly one of the only like. It's one of the first steps to really being like happy with yourself and your place in the world, because you gotta, life you're just fucking you're floating your own canoe, and it's hard to do that shit if you're like carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Yeah,
or the weight of others.
It's hard because you want to help other people, especially your friends, but like you can't really help anyone until you help yourself.
Dude, man, some of these crackheads though, like not crackheads, but you know what I mean. Some of these cats on the street, because like I've been working in the West Bottoms, and like that's where a lot of homeless people have been like kind of getting pushed to, because there's a lot of empty space, and man, like some of these people are like some of the coolest people I've ever like seen or talked to in my fucking life, like, and but a lot of them are just people that drugs have just fucking ruined their life. Like I see these women walking along the highway that like their body and like the way they're walking looks 30, but their face looks 70. Like, and it's just tragic, man. That shit the way we've been doing that shit, the way these like shit's Satan, man. And it's like I feel for those people, but also, man, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like
there's only so much you can do.
I'll vote. You know what I mean? If I get money to give back, I'll give back. But it's kind of annoying
when you're not annoying, I guess, like just sort of aimless or hopeless. When you just watch the news and you just see all this horrible shit happening in the world, there's nothing that you can do about it.
Yeah, but it should just give you a reason to keep on living, to improve yourself and improve. You got to improve what's around you. I think it's kind of unhealthy to be getting like, all this news in the face, all the news of the world, because like it really can make you kind of feel like Atlas, Yeah. The man hoisting the world on his shoulders, because you're just like, because you're thinking about all these problems, and all it can make you do is it can either make you apathetic, or it can make you so dedicated that you neglect the things in your own life.
Mm.
And like, if you want to do that shit, get into politics, dog. Like, go down that fucking murky underroad. And if not, work on yourself. Work on what's around you. Be nice to the people in your life, and be helpful to that. Like improve what's around you.
Clean your room. Make your bed. Pick up some trash.
Word. You watching Jordan Peterson? Is all that shit?
No.
That's like, he's a really smart dude, man. His big like lesson that he preaches is clean your room.
Oh yeah,
Like,
man.
from a psychological perspective, you know.
Like my room's
You get
not
a
the
lot- you can get a
my
lot
room's
done.
not the cleanest right now, but as long as I don't have to like, like do one of these things where you gotta
Yeah,
like
walk-
step
walk
over a
around,
bunch
yeah,
of
yeah,
shit.
word.
Like as long as I don't have to do that, I consider my room
Word.
clean enough.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Let's go shoot some hoops. I'm excited.
All right, bye everybody. Oops.